Today, I'm taking you through my level design process, from initial sketches on paper to the final build in Unity. No frills, just a walkthrough of my development workflow for my game, Enigmarble. Hang on, paper? For a digital game? Yep. I have tried several ways of designing levels, including building it straight away in Unity, and even spreadsheets. But I've found that a simple grid paper and a pen is super fast and easy to modify. It would probably be even faster if I used a pen and eraser instead of a pen, but let's not talk about that. Every single one of the 90 levels I've designed for Enigmarble originated from a paper sketch. A grid paper works perfectly since Enigmarble is a 2D puzzle game that consists of square tiles. Over time, I've established a routine, notes, and symbols, making it easier to reference and reproduce in Unity later. Coming up with so many unique level designs is a whole another topic which I might talk about in a separate video. Once I have a level design I'm happy with, it's time to build it in Unity. In order to streamline the workflow for efficient level creation, I have made several editor tools to help me. First, I have a tool that sets up a new scene for me, with all the prefabs and necessary game objects, with just one click. This allows me to start building straight away. I use Unity tile maps to build the walls, ground, and all the interactive game objects, which all have different layers and sort order. At this point, there's no magic trick up my sleeve. I need to manually draw what I have on paper. I use standard Unity tile palette for painting the walls and ground. And then using Unity's preview package 2D tile map extras, I can use the same tile palette tool to paint game objects onto a tile map. When all objects and tiles are placed, there are certain puzzle pieces that need to be paired up for them to work. For example, switches with their corresponding doors, and so on. Luckily, I can follow the numbers I've already designed on my paper. If I'm lucky to have got this right, which I admit has not always been the case. Once I've paired them up, I have added some editor GUI lines to show the connections visually. If you're curious about all the different puzzle elements I have in the game, I have a separate video about that. I will during this stage play the game several times to check if I've set everything up correctly, and obviously also ensure that the level is actually solvable. Once the level's content is done, it's time to fix up the visuals. As you probably have noticed, there's quite a mismatch between the interactive blocks and the walls. Enigmarble consists of 6 worlds, each with their unique art and visuals. You can see in my tile palette that I have all of the different tile sets here. However, all interactive blocks are game object prefabs. Now, if I had known about this earlier, I would probably have made prefab variants of them all, one for each theme. But instead, I've made some editor tools that allow me to easily swap out the art for any puzzle game object. This turned out to be smarter than using prefab variants, so I was lucky there. Let's take a closer look at some fun editor tools. I think all game developers, at some point, end up creating editor tools to help speed up the process. There's no one way to do this. It all depends on your game and your workflow. For each puzzle game object, I can swap its visual theme. This does not always affect just the main sprite, but will also swap other things, like sprites for active and inactive, and even projectile prefabs. So this is great, but I'm not going to repeat this action for every single block I have placed. So I have another tool that allows me to do this globally, and it also has code that swaps out the wall and ground tiles. This allows me to paint using just any wall tile and floor tile, and then replace every single place tile in the tile maps, with a random one from a predefined set of tiles for each theme. After I've run this, I can then manually adjust and make it more visually interesting. These theme swapper tools have proved invaluable when I finally started organizing and reordering all of the levels in Enigmarble. Unfortunately, I started reorganizing far too late, and thus I had about 40 levels that were fully built in the wrong theme. These tools prevented the need for a complete overhaul and a lot of manual work. I also have additional decoration art that I place behind and around the levels, all different for each theme. I have not created any editor tools to switch out these decorations if I change the theme for a level. The programming part of me would love to create another tool for this, but I had to consider if the time to make it would be well spent or not. It wasn't. So instead of automating this process, I figured it's best that I tweak and fix each level manually to ensure that it looks as good as possible. Finally, after some more playtesting, I can check this level off as complete, put the paper away, and start with the next one. And that's all I had for this devlog. If you found this interesting, please let me know, and subscribe for more development content. Stay tuned for the next episode.